I'm not going to ask you if you can cook or bake. No, because you're back here again. Because you made my last soda bread and you loved it. Now, a big thank you for all those who did respond. And a few requests that I did get was for me to make a sweeter, fruitier variable of it. So sit back as I'm going to blow your socks off with this one. Coming up. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Tim here again with another How To with Basics. This time bringing you another remedy to get those taste buds going again. So let's get baking. Now, as we know, that soda bread is the quickest and easiest of all the breads to make. So let's start by switching our oven on. Now I'm turning my oven onto 200 degrees Celsius. Under 200 degrees Celsius, and that is fan assisted. Oh, I hate long sleeve shirts. The long sleeves always get in the way. Right, we're going to go, as you know, I don't use any weighing scales or anything. I like to keep things simple and basic. We're going to go for 1 3/4 cups of the wholemeal flour. I think that, yeah, that's about 1 3/4, a dash more for luck. Right, 1 3/4 cups. We're now going to go for 1 3/4 cups of plain flour. Now, here you can always sieve this because some people say that it gives the mix a little bit of extra air. Which helps. We'll go for 1 3/4 of that. Give or take. Yeah, but 1 3/4. That's fine. We'll just give it a little shake. There we go. Right. No longer need the sieve. We are now going to put in 1 teaspoon of salt. I always think a bit of salt is fine. Just make sure there's no lumps in it. We now put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda. Now once again, just put that into your hand. Flatten it out. So make sure that there are no lumps. Throw that in. We just give it a little slight bit of a mix up here. There we go. Right. Now we are going to add in some oats. I'm just using basic porridge oats. It's fine, it works. We'll put in about 3/4 cups of oats. Of your dry mix, we've still got the sultanas and that to put in. But I'm purposely not going to put the sultanas in now, and I tell you why. Because what I have found is that when you put your butter in and you're now mixing your butter up with the dry mix, the sultanas, I just find they seem to get in the way, and it just makes the mixing of your butter that much more difficult with it. We're going to put about 30 grams into the mix. What I generally do, I just guesstimate. I take something like this. It works. I always find that no matter how much you really put in, as long as you don't put too little, butter seems to work and it comes out. Don't need to worry too much about it. As per usual, we just cut up our butter. Now, you've got to make sure that your butter is cold. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. We go, and now we add our butter into the dry mix. Separate your little pieces. Right, now we just break our butter up, mix it well with your dry mix, breaking your butter little cubes down, really mixing it with the flour, because what you want is the flour to come out crumbly. It's got to have that sort of crumbly look and feel to it. Because the beautiful thing about soda bread, not only is it tasty, but you find that it is extremely healthy and very filling. Right. As you can see, this is the crumbly type look that you're wanting to achieve. Doesn't matter. Right, now, we are now going to throw in, we want it a bit sweet, so we'll throw in about, we want it fruity, throw in about three quarter cup of raisins or sultanas. Let's put in, I'm using brown sugar, everything a nicer taste. We're going to go for about 3/4 cup of sugar. Once again, as I've said before, with my recipes, there's no exact bits and pieces that you got to weigh and measure, because no matter what you do, it works, it comes out, and it's tasty to it. Brilliant. Now, what else have we got on the table that needs to go in? I think that's about what we're going to do here, as far as all our ingredients. Right, what's next? Soda, buttermilk. Right, we're going to now take 1 egg. Now let me not break and destroy the egg as I did last time. I always seem to hit it too hard with the knife, split it in the egg, and everything goes literally all over, and I make a mess like you cannot believe. There we go, good enough. We now take our buttermilk, we throw the egg in with our buttermilk. Now guys, remember, as I told you on a previous video, with buttermilk, if you don't have it, you can't get it from your local supermarket. Don't stress too much, because you can make your own buttermilk. All buttermilk is, it's soured milk. So if you want to make your own soured milk, just leave it out, it'll go sour. Or throw in about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, put it in the milk, leave it out overnight, it'll curdle the milk, and you have buttermilk. Right, now we have that mixed up, we're now going to just make a well in the middle, like mixing cement and concrete. You do the same thing, you know, for you guys out there. Right, now we're going to put about 3/4 of the buttermilk in. Not all of it now. We'll add a bit more buttermilk later, and I'll show you. Right, we're just going to mix in the buttermilk into the mix. Obviously, it is going to be a little dry in the beginning because we haven't added all the buttermilk, but we just need to do it a bit gradually. I find it makes it easier when you're doing your mix. Right, we add in a bit more. I'm leaving just a dash left. Now, of course, the buttermilk we've used, I failed to make mention in the beginning, I used about 400 milliliters of buttermilk. We want our mix to be a bit dry. Okay, or dryish, but soft, but not sticky. Now, what we're seeing here, and this is a good example and the purpose of doing the video. This is very wet, very sticky. What we're going to do, and to overcome the problem, so you don't panic to think, oh my God, my mix is a disaster, I'll have to start all over again because I didn't get it the way Tim got it. Okay, you can just take a little bit of flour, sprinkle a bit of flour in it. So this basically proves the initial weighing of your 1 3/4 cups of flour in the beginning is hogwash, because they will show you, and all these people making and teaching you how to bake, you see them throwing in flour and that afterwards. So theoretically, you're getting more than a cup and 3/4 in. Am I right? Right. I'm not happy with that. I'm going to just throw in a bit more flour until I get it where I want it. As you can see, that when you do soda bread, your mix never comes out exactly the same every time, because we're not following the exact measurements, but they don't work either. Right, we're going to just work with this, guys. We'll flour our work surface. Now, you may need to sort of work your hands and get your hands into here. Just put a bit of flour on your hands. What we are wanting to eventually come up with is, when we roll the bowl around, we want the mix to almost roll around the bowl, almost a little bit like a ball. Then we know it's workable, and that's basically where we want it. Right. I put it down on the work surface. Going to sprinkle a little bit of extra flour on, because that's still a little bit on the sticky side. You can just knead it a little bit. Right, I think that's basically good enough. We're quite happy with that. Right, there is our dough. We'll put the dough on the tray. We want approximately, I don't know, 8 inches, flatten it down a little bit. Right, so once again, as per last time, we're going to take our dough and we're going to cut it with a sharp knife through. Then, as tradition tells us, we shove a sharp knife into each corner of it, and that's basically to make sure that the fairies don't curse our bread, because we don't want that. Or glazing, we're going to glaze. Going to just glaze our dough. There we go, and that's where we use the last little bit of our buttermilk. Now, I normally just take a little bit of oats, sprinkle a little bit of oats on the top. And of course, lastly, a little bit of flour, fairy dust, which we'll just sprinkle just a little on the top. And there we have the finished article, ready to go into the oven for 40 minutes. Right, there we go, guys. We now pop this into the oven. Now, once it comes out after 40 minutes, we'll just take the bread out. We'll push a sharp knife into it, just to make sure that when we take the knife out, it is dry. If not, if it's still wet, it obviously needs to go back into the oven. But normally 40 minutes, guys, it is perfect. Trust me, if you've got your temperature of your oven right, it works. We then take the loaf, we turn it upside down, we knock it at the bottom, we have a hollow sound that also reconfirms the bread is done. We then wrap it in a tea towel, keep it upside down so the steam rises, which will help the bottom be slightly softer and you come up with a crispy top. Right, we'll now come back and after the 40 minutes and we'll check our bread out. Right, that's our 40 minutes up. So we'll take the bread out and let's have a look at it, shall we? We'll give it a little knock, and yes, it's hollow. We'll keep it upside down, and as I've said to you, so that the steam rises, so the bottom is slightly softer than the top, and the top will remain crispy. Now remember, if you haven't guests around, don't offer them any, otherwise they won't want to leave. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've learned something new here today. And if so, please leave a comment in the section below, as your feedback is very important in improving the overall quality of the material that we present. If you know someone that could benefit from this video, then please share it with them, as your help and support is really appreciated. Now, don't forget to click the thumbs up, like button below, hit the bell if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time with another How To with Basics video. Bye!